Ladies and gentlemen, respect is not simply given, it is earned. It is built on the foundation of who you are and how you conduct yourself in the world. Imagine walking into a room not with the intention of commanding attention, but with the quiet, unshakable confidence that you are a person of integrity, competence, and authenticity. That presence, that aura, makes people sit up and take notice. And it's not about dominance or arrogance, it's about embodying values that resonate deeply with others. It's about standing for something meaningful, about navigating life with clarity and purpose. Authenticity is a profound concept, and it's more than just a buzzword we casually throw around. It demands honesty, not just with others, but more importantly, with yourself. That's a terrifying endeavor because it requires you to look at yourself clearly without the comforting veil of denial or justification. It requires you to confront the parts of you that aren't what you wish they were, to examine your flaws, your fears, your failures, and to accept them. Authenticity isn't about broadcasting every thought you have or being blunt to the point of cruelty. It's about being real in a way that reflects the truth of who you are, even when it's uncomfortable. There's a paradox in authenticity that we often misunderstand. To be authentic, you have to know who you are. But to know who you are, you have to venture into the unknown territories of yourself, the parts you've avoided, the parts you've repressed, the parts you've ignored. That's why so many people fail to be authentic. It's not because they're intentionally deceptive, it's because they're strangers to themselves. They don't know what they stand for, what they believe in, or what they want from life. Without that knowledge, how can you ever expect to present an honest version of yourself to the world? Authenticity also requires courage. It's not for the faint of heart. The world will push back when you're authentic because the truth is unsettling, even threatening to those who prefer the comfort of illusions. People are often more comfortable with the version of you that conforms to their expectations than with the version of you that reflects your true essence. When you decide to be authentic, you risk rejection, you risk misunderstanding, you risk judgment. But here's the thing, the people who truly matter, the ones who will walk beside you in life, won't be repelled by your authenticity. They'll be drawn to it. Living authentically also means that you don't hide behind masks to fit into social norms or gain approval. It doesn't mean you disregard social etiquette or become rude or abrasive. Instead, it means you act with integrity. You say what you mean and mean what you say. It means your actions align with your words and your words align with your values. That's rare in a world where so many are caught up in playing roles where their words are designed to impress or manipulate rather than convey the truth. But why does authenticity command respect? Because it's rare. It's valuable precisely because it's so scarce. Most people are afraid to be authentic. They're afraid to admit they don't know everything, to acknowledge their weaknesses, or to confront their fears. So when someone stands up and dares to be real, when they show the world who they truly are, it's like a breath of fresh air. People are drawn to that because deep down they're yearning for the same freedom. Your authenticity gives others permission to be authentic as well. It's a ripple effect that can transform relationships, communities, and even society at large. There's also an incredible strength in being authentic. It's not about being invulnerable. It's about being open and honest despite your vulnerabilities. It's about saying, this is who I am, and I'm okay with that. That kind of confidence grounded in truth rather than ego is magnetic. It's inspiring. And it's deeply respected because it's not built on a facade. It's built on the solid foundation of self-awareness and self-acceptance. Authenticity isn't just about being honest with others, it's also about being honest in your choices and actions. Are you living a life that reflects your true desires and values? Or are you living a life shaped by the expectations of others? Are you pursuing goals that are meaningful to you, or are you chasing achievements that you think will impress others? These are tough questions, and the answers might not be what you want to hear. But they're necessary questions if you want to live authentically. People respect authenticity because it's an act of defiance against a world that's constantly trying to mold you into something you're not. It's a declaration that you won't compromise your integrity for approval, that you won't trade your truth for comfort. It's an act of rebellion, but it's a rebellion rooted in love for yourself and love for the truth. And when you live authentically, you become a beacon of light in a world that often feels shrouded in darkness. You become someone others look up to, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. So authenticity is not just a personal virtue, it's a societal necessity. In a world filled with noise, deceit, and pretense, your authenticity is your power. It's your way of cutting through the chaos and making a meaningful impact. It's your way of saying, I'm here. This is me. Take it or leave it. And when you do that, you'll find that the people who choose to stay are the ones who truly matter. They're the ones who respect you, not for what you have or what you've achieved, but for who you are. That's the respect that lasts. That's the respect that matters. Respect is a currency that cannot be demanded or coerced. It must be earned. And to earn it, you must embody principles that resonate deeply with the core of human values. There's a distinction between being liked and being respected, and that distinction is critical. Being liked is often about conforming, about smoothing edges of your personality so that you fit neatly into the expectations of others. It's about saying what people want to hear, doing what keeps the peace, and avoiding the hard conversations. But real respect requires the opposite. It requires you to stand firm in your values even when they're unpopular. It requires you to speak the truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable. It requires you to be someone others can rely on, not because you say what's convenient, but because you act with integrity. To earn respect, you must first respect yourself. This isn't a superficial self-esteem mantra. It's about living in alignment with your own values and holding yourself accountable to your own standards. You cannot expect others to respect you if you don't respect yourself. That means doing what you say you'll do, even when it's hard. It means being honest with yourself about your shortcomings and taking responsibility for your actions. It means treating yourself as someone worthy of care and dignity. When you respect yourself, it shows in the way you carry yourself, in the way you interact with others, and in the way you respond to challenges. The foundation of respect lies in competence. Competence isn't just about technical skills or knowledge. It's about being someone who can handle what life throws at you. It's about being dependable. When you're competent, people trust you because they know you can get the job done. But competence isn't static. It's not something you achieve and then rest on. It requires constant effort, constant learning, and constant growth. The world changes, and if you don't adapt, you fall behind. To earn respect, you must be willing to do the work to improve, to innovate, and to evolve. Another pillar of respect is courage. Respect is given to those who face challenges head-on, who don't shy away from the difficult or the daunting. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite fear. It's standing up for what's right, even when it's unpopular. It's speaking the truth, even when your voice shakes. Courage doesn't mean you'll always succeed. In fact, you'll often fail, but even in failure, courage commands respect because it shows you're willing to take risks for something greater than yourself. Respect also comes from consistency. People respect those they can predict in terms of principles and values. This doesn't mean being rigid or inflexible. It means being reliable in your integrity. If you say you value honesty, then be honest, even when it's inconvenient. If you say you value kindness, then be kind, even when it's hard. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the bedrock of respect. When people know they can act according to principles, they'll respect you even if they don't always agree with you. Empathy is another crucial element. Respect isn't just about commanding authority or showcasing strength. It's about understanding and valuing others. When you genuinely listen to people, when you try to see the world through their eyes, you demonstrate that you respect them. And respect, in turn, begets respect. Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with everyone or compromising your values to avoid conflict. It means recognizing the humanity in others, even when you disagree. It means being willing to have hard conversations, not to win arguments, but to seek understanding. Boundaries are equally essential. People respect those who know where they stand and are clear about what they will and will not accept. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about defining the terms of your relationships in a way that preserves your dignity and fosters mutual respect. When you set boundaries, you're saying this is what I need to maintain my integrity and well-being. And when you enforce those boundaries, you're teaching others to respect them. Humility is often overlooked as a factor in earning respect, but it's profoundly important. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about recognizing that you don't know everything, that you have room to grow, and that others have something to teach you. Humility allows you to admit when you're wrong, to learn from criticism, and to celebrate the successes of others. It shows that you value growth over ego, and that's deeply respected. But here's the catch: respect isn't guaranteed. You can do all these things, live with integrity, show courage, demonstrate empathy, maintain boundaries, and practice humility, and still encounter people who refuse to respect you. That's the hard truth. Respect isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. It's about being the kind of person who commands respect regardless of whether it's given. Because ultimately, respect isn't about others' opinions of you, it's about your opinion of yourself. It's about knowing that you've done your best to live according to your values, that you've acted with courage and integrity, and that you've treated others with dignity. Respect is earned in the small, consistent actions of daily life. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic proclamations. It's about showing up every day as the best version of yourself, even when no one is watching. It's about taking responsibility for your life and your choices, and it's about holding yourself to a standard that inspires others to do the same. When you live like that, you won't need to demand respect. It will come naturally because people are drawn to those who embody the qualities they admire and aspire to themselves. Respect is not just something you acquire, it's something you cultivate, and it grows only when rooted in authenticity. If you want people to respect you, it begins with the recognition that respect cannot be a transaction. It must come from a place of genuine understanding and alignment between your actions and values. You can't fake it, at least not for long. People are perceptive. They can sense when someone is posturing or seeking approval for the sake of appearances. True respect is born out of a consistent demonstration of principles, resilience, and character, often under challenging circumstances. To truly be respected, you have to become a person worth respecting. This isn't a matter of putting on a performance for others, nor is it about pleasing everyone you meet. It's about building the kind of life that reflects your deepest values. Start by asking yourself some difficult questions. What do I stand for? What am I willing to fight for? What principles guide my actions, even when no one is watching? These questions aren't easy to answer because they require brutal honesty. They force you to confront your own shortcomings, to acknowledge the ways in which you might be falling short of your own ideals. But that's the work. That's the foundation. You can't expect others to respect you if you haven't done the hard work of becoming someone you can respect. At the heart of earning respect is the willingness to take responsibility. People respect those who take ownership of their lives, who don't play the victim or blame others for their circumstances. This doesn't mean ignoring the genuine challenges and injustices you've faced. It means refusing to let those challenges define you. It means looking at your life and asking, what can I do to make this better? Rather than focusing on what others should do for you. Responsibility is empowering because it puts the control back in your hands. It says, I'm in charge of my own destiny, and I'm willing to do the work to make it a reality. Courage is another cornerstone of respect, and it's not just about the grand, heroic acts we see in movies or read about in history books. Real courage is often quieter. It's the courage to speak the truth when it's easier to stay silent. It's the courage to stand up for your values even when you're standing alone. It's the courage to admit when you're wrong, to apologize sincerely, and to make amends. Courage is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your fears, your insecurities, and your vulnerabilities. But it's also transformative. When you act with courage, you inspire others, you show them what's possible. And that, in turn, earns their respect. Respect is also deeply tied to integrity, which is perhaps the most critical quality in this equation. Integrity is about aligning your actions with your values, even when it's difficult. It's about being honest, not just with others, but with yourself. It's about refusing to cut corners or take the easy way out, even when no one would know. Integrity builds trust and it's the foundation of all meaningful relationships, whether personal or professional. People respect those they can count on, those who say what they mean and do what they say. If you want respect, you must live with integrity, not as a one-time effort, but as a daily practice. But here's an important nuance. Respect isn't about perfection. People don't respect those who pretend to have all the answers or who try to project an image of flawless competence. They respect those who are honest about their imperfections, who are willing to admit their mistakes and learn from them. There's strength in vulnerability, not weakness. When you acknowledge your flaws and show that you're working to improve, you demonstrate humility. And humility is a deeply respected trait because it shows that you value growth over ego. Empathy also plays a crucial role. Respect is a two-way street, and you can't expect others to respect you if you don't show respect to them. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone or accept behaviors that violate your boundaries, but it does mean approaching people with a sense of understanding and compassion. It means listening, truly listening to their perspectives, even when they differ from your own. It means valuing their humanity, even when you disagree. Empathy doesn't require you to compromise your values. It simply requires you to recognize the inherent worth of others. Consistency ties all these elements together. Respect isn't something you can earn through a single act of heroism or a one-time demonstration of integrity. It's something you build over time through a pattern of behavior that aligns with your values. People respect those who are reliable, who show up consistently, and who act in accordance with their principles day in and day out. Consistency creates trust, and trust creates respect. It's important to remember that not everyone will respect you, no matter how much integrity, courage, or empathy you show. Some people simply won't see your worth, and that's okay. Respect is not about seeking validation from everyone. It's about living in a way that aligns with your own values and standards. It's about being able to look in the mirror at the end of the day and feel proud of the person you've chosen to be. Respect is about character. It's about who you are when no one is watching. It's about the quiet choices you make every day, the ones that define your integrity and shape your life. When you live with courage, responsibility, empathy, and consistency, respect will follow not because you've demanded it, but because you've earned it. And in earning respect from others, you'll also gain something even more valuable: self-respect. And that, perhaps, is the most important respect of all. Respect is not just a word we toss around lightly. It's a profound recognition of value, not just in ourselves, but in others as well. And the first step to understanding respect is to realize that it must begin with you. If you don't respect yourself, you can't expect anyone else to. Self-respect is the cornerstone of everything. It's the foundation upon which your confidence, your boundaries, and your aspirations are built. Without it, you're like a house without a sturdy base, fragile, vulnerable, and easily swayed by external forces. To cultivate self-respect, you have to start by holding yourself accountable. Accountability is not a punishment, it's a form of liberation. It's acknowledging that your life is your responsibility, that your actions matter, and that your choices define your future. You can't blame others for the state of your life while simultaneously expecting them to respect you. People are drawn to those who take ownership of their circumstances, even when those circumstances are less than ideal. It's not about perfection, it's about effort. It's about showing that you're willing to stand up even when it's hard and move forward even when the path is unclear. Now, here's the thing about respect: it's not demanded, it's earned. And earning respect requires courage. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. It's about doing what's right, not what's easy. It's about standing by your principles, even when it feels like the world is against you. People respect strength, not in the sense of physical power, but in the strength of character, the strength to endure, to persevere, and to rise above. They respect those who have the courage to speak the truth, even when it's inconvenient, and to live authentically, even when it's difficult. Respect also demands boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out. They're guidelines meant to show others how you expect to be treated. Without boundaries, you risk becoming a doormat for others to walk on, and nothing erodes respect faster than allowing yourself to be mistreated. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it's necessary. It's a way of saying, I value myself enough to protect my well-being. And when you enforce those boundaries consistently, you send a powerful message that you are someone who deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. But respect is not a one-way street. If you want others to respect you, you must also be willing to respect them. And this is where empathy comes in. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to see the world through their eyes, even if just for a moment. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but it does mean you recognize their humanity. Empathy is the glue that holds relationships together. It's what allows us to connect on a deeper level, to understand and support one another. And when you show empathy, you not only earn respect, but you also create a space where respect can thrive. Consistency is another critical piece of the puzzle. Respect isn't something you gain overnight. It's built over time through a series of actions that demonstrate your integrity, your reliability, and your character. People respect those who are consistent because consistency breeds trust. When you say you'll do something, do it. When you make a promise, keep it. And when you make a mistake, own up to it and make it right. Consistency shows that you are dependable, that your word means something, and that you are someone others can rely on. Another essential aspect of respect is authenticity. People can sense when you're being genuine and when you're not. They're drawn to authenticity because it's rare and because it's real. Authenticity is about being true to yourself, about not pretending to be someone you're not just to please others. It's about embracing your strengths and acknowledging your weaknesses. It's about showing up as you are, flaws and all, and having the confidence to say, this is me. When you live authentically, you inspire others to do the same, and in doing so, you earn their respect. Respect requires self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to see yourself clearly, to understand your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. It's about being honest with yourself about who you are and who you want to be. Self-awareness allows you to recognize your growth areas and take steps to improve. It helps you understand how your actions affect others and how to navigate the complexities of human relationships. Without self-awareness, respect is hard to maintain because respect requires a level of humility and the willingness to grow. When you combine self-respect with courage, boundaries, empathy, consistency, authenticity, and self-awareness, you create a powerful force that draws people in. You become someone worth respecting, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. Respect isn't about domination or control, it's about mutual recognition of value. It's about seeing and being seen, hearing and being heard, and understanding and being understood. Respect is not just about how others treat you, it's about how you treat yourself and how you treat others. It's about living a life of integrity, a life that aligns with your values and principles. When you respect yourself, when you act with courage and authenticity, and when you show empathy and consistency, you set a standard not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. You show the world what it means to live with dignity, and in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. And that, in the end, is the true power of respect. Respect is not something that can be forced or demanded. It is something you earn through the person you choose to become. It is woven into the fabric of your character, shaped by your choices, and revealed in the way you navigate the challenges life throws at you. The power to command respect begins within, in the way you treat yourself and the standards you hold for your own life. If you carry yourself with dignity, if you hold yourself accountable, and if you strive to live in alignment with your values, others cannot help but notice. They are drawn to that clarity, that strength, and that unshakable integrity that comes from a person who knows who they are. To earn respect, you must first confront yourself, and that is no small task. It requires an unflinching honesty to face your weaknesses, your fears, and your failures. But this confrontation is not meant to tear you down, it is meant to build you up. There is immense strength in recognizing where you fall short because it opens the door to growth. When you take responsibility for your flaws rather than running from them, you show courage. And courage is one of the most respected qualities a person can possess. It's not about being fearless, it's about acting in the face of fear, about standing up when it would be easier to stay down, about speaking the truth when silence would be more comfortable. Respect also thrives on consistency. People need to see that who you are does not waver with the winds of circumstance. They need to know that your values are not situational, that your integrity is not for sale, and that your word means something. This does not mean you must be perfect, no one is, but it does mean you must strive to be reliable. Reliability is not about being unchanging, it's about being trustworthy. When you say you will do something, you follow through. When you make a mistake, you own up to it, make amends. Consistency in action and principle breeds trust, and trust is the foundation upon which respect is built. At the core of respect is the ability to see the humanity in others. If you want respect, you must also be willing to give it. And giving respect means treating people as though they matter, not because of their status or their accomplishments, but because they are human beings. It means listening when they speak, valuing their perspectives, and acknowledging their struggles. Empathy is a key ingredient here, and it's not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is a profound strength to be able to see beyond yourself, to understand someone else's experience, and to respond with kindness and fairness. This does not mean you have to agree with everyone or tolerate behavior that violates your principles, but it does mean you approach others with a fundamental respect for their dignity. Another critical aspect of respect is setting and enforcing boundaries. Respect is eroded when you allow others to overstep your limits, to disregard your needs, or to treat you in ways that undermine your sense of self-worth. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. They are a way of saying, this is who I am, and this is what I will not compromise. When you enforce your boundaries with confidence and consistency, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that you value yourself, and in doing so, you set an example for them to value you as well. The pursuit of respect is also deeply tied to authenticity. People are drawn to those who are real, who are unafraid to be themselves, who don't feel the need to hide behind a mask of perfection or conformity. Authenticity is about owning your story, the good, the bad, and the messy. It's about showing up as you are and being unapologetically true to yourself. This doesn't mean flaunting every thought or feeling. It means aligning your actions with your principles, living in a way that reflects your deepest values. When you are authentic, people know they can trust you because there is no facade, no hidden agenda, only truth. Self-respect is the bedrock of earning the respect of others. If you don't respect yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? This means taking care of yourself, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It means setting high standards for your own behavior and holding yourself to them. It means treating yourself with kindness, forgiveness, and compassion while also challenging yourself to grow and improve. When you carry yourself with self-respect, it radiates outward, and people can't help but respond to it. Respect also requires self-awareness and understanding of how your actions and words affect those around you. It is not enough to act with good intentions, you must also consider the impact of your actions. Self-awareness allows you to navigate the complexities of relationships with wisdom and grace. It helps you recognize when you've crossed a line, when you need to apologize, and when you need to stand firm. It allows you to be mindful of your influence and to use it responsibly. Respect is not a destination, it is a journey. It is something you build every day through every interaction, every choice, and every challenge. It is not about being liked or admired, it is about being true to yourself and your principles. It is about living with integrity, treating others with dignity, and striving to be the best version of yourself. When you live this way, respect is not something you have to chase, it is something that naturally follows. And in earning the respect of others, you also earn something even more valuable, a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Respect is not something that you can demand, and it certainly cannot be bought or coerced. It is earned through the deliberate cultivation of your character, through the choices you make and the principles you hold steadfastly to, no matter the challenges or temptations that come your way. At its core, respect is a reflection of your integrity, the consistency with which you embody your values, and the courage you demonstrate in living a life aligned with truth and responsibility. When people observe that you are not easily swayed by trivialities or compromised by convenience, when they see you acting with purpose and conviction, they begin to understand that you are someone worth listening to, someone whose presence commands acknowledgement without the need for force. The first step in earning respect is to become deeply acquainted with yourself. This is not an easy task, as it requires brutal honesty. You must confront the parts of yourself you'd rather hide, the insecurities, the mistakes, the failures. But in doing so, you gain an invaluable gift: clarity. You begin to understand who you are, what you stand for, and where you need to grow. This self-awareness forms the foundation for all meaningful relationships, including the relationship you have with yourself. People respect those who have the courage to acknowledge their imperfections and the determination to improve. It's not the absence of flaws that earns admiration, it's the willingness to face them head on. There is a profound strength in taking responsibility for your life. This doesn't mean blaming yourself for every misfortune, but it does mean recognizing that your choices shape your reality. When you stop making excuses and start owning your decisions, you take control of your narrative. People respect individuals who are accountable, who don't shy away from their obligations, and who rise to the occasion when life demands it. Responsibility is not a burden, it is the path to purpose. It's what gives your actions weight and your words credibility. When others see that you are reliable, that you can be counted on even when the stakes are high, they can't help but respect you. Respect also requires a balance between strength and humility. It's not about dominating others or asserting your superiority. True respect comes when people see that your strength is not used to diminish them, but to uplift them. This is where empathy plays a crucial role. To respect others and be respected in return, you must be able to step into their shoes to understand their struggles, their perspectives, their humanity. Empathy is not a weakness. It's a powerful force that bridges divides and fosters connection. When people see that you genuinely care, that you listen and respond with kindness, they begin to trust you. And trust is the bedrock of respect. Consistency is another pillar of respect. You can't expect others to respect you if your actions and principles are unpredictable or contradictory. It's about being the same person in private as you are in public. It's about honoring your commitments and following through on your promises. Consistency builds trust because it shows that you are dependable. It's not about being perfect, no one is, but about striving to align your actions with your values. People respect those who live with integrity, who don't compromise their principles for convenience or gain. Boundaries are equally essential. If you allow others to overstep your limits, to treat you in ways that undermine your dignity, you send a message that you don't value yourself. Respect starts with self-respect, and self-respect requires you to set and enforce boundaries. This is not about being rigid or unyielding, but about protecting what matters most to you, your time, your energy, your values. When you assert your boundaries confidently and respectfully, you teach others how to treat you. You show them that you take yourself seriously, and in doing so, you invite them to do the same. Authenticity is another key to earning respect. People are drawn to those who are real, who are not afraid to show their true selves, flaws and all. Authenticity is about being honest with yourself and others, about living in alignment with your values rather than conforming to expectations or seeking approval. It's not about revealing every detail of your life, but about being consistent in who you are. When you are authentic, people know they can trust you because there is no facade and no pretense. They see you as someone who is genuine, and that genuineness inspires respect. Respect is about courage. It takes courage to stand up for what you believe in, especially when it's unpopular or inconvenient. It takes courage to face challenges, to persevere when the odds are against you, to speak the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the determination to act despite it. People respect those who are brave enough to take risks, to fight for what matters, and to stay true to their principles. Courage is contagious, it inspires others to find their own strength. Respect is not something you can demand or chase. It is a natural byproduct of living a life of integrity, responsibility, and authenticity. It's about showing up every day as the best version of yourself, not for the sake of recognition, but because it's the right thing to do. And when you live this way, respect follows not as a goal, but as a testament to the person you've become. In the end, respect is earned by embodying authenticity, integrity, and responsibility in every aspect of your life. It's not about seeking approval, but about living with purpose and courage. When you align your actions with your values, set clear boundaries, and treat others with empathy and kindness, respect becomes a natural outcome. It is a reflection of the strength and character you cultivate within yourself, inspiring others to recognize and honor the person you truly are.